Severe damage on buildings and crucial infrastructure in Omdurman, caused by fierce fighting between the army and the paramilitary rapid support forces. Houses are now largely empty shells as a growing number of citizens, caught up in the clashes and longing for peace, continue to flee. They are desperate for a return to normalcy, even though it might take years to rebuild their lives and communities.
Of course, we call for peace. We want stability. We want peace. And we want to be able to return Sudan to the previous situation it was in before the war, and even take it to a better situation. On a personal level, I am one of the people who was severely affected by the war.
Omdurman and the capital Khartoum have seen much of the heaviest fighting between the two warring factions since the conflict erupted in April last year. The RSF occupied much of the two areas at the outbreak of the fighting, but the army is now trying to recapture these strategic territories. The army says it has obtained large and quality weapon supplies, which are expected to help the government achieve victories in all key combat sites, a strategy that experts say could strengthen the army's negotiating position in peace talks.
It seems that the armed forces began to change their military plan in resolving the battle with the rapid support forces. The army adopted an offensive approach instead of the defensive approach that they have been using for a year and a half. They began to attack directly and strike at the hard power of the rapid support forces, especially on the Omdurman region. And they have directly achieved very significant breakthroughs and victories in Karari, South Omdurman, and the areas of Mansoura, Ambada, Hamad al-Nil, and the Doha neighborhood. These victories could be used by the armed forces as a significant leverage to achieve negotiating gains if they agree to sit down and negotiate in Geneva.
More than 10 million Sudanese, accounting for 20% of the population, have been driven from their homes since the conflict began, according to the UN. 50 million face a hunger crisis and are in need of humanitarian aid. Countries and international organizations have offered to mediate, but all efforts have collapsed, and it's not clear when the fighting between the two groups will end. Carolyne B, CGTN.